Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we'll be studying about Introduction to Refrigeration. We know that thermodynamics have two major areas. First one is power generation and second one is refrigeration. So this lecture will deal with refrigeration. First let us see the content of today's lecture. Beginning with the introduction to refrigeration, unit of refrigeration, performance of refrigerator, reverse Carnot cycle, vapor compression refrigeration system, vapor absorption refrigeration system, comparison between vapor compression refrigeration system and vapor absorption refrigeration system, and finally application of refrigeration system. So these are the topics which we are going to cover in today's lecture. So let us begin with the refrigeration process. Refrigeration. It is defined as the process of removing heat from a body or enclosed space so that its temperature is first lowered and then maintained at a level below the temperature of the surroundings. So if we are achieving or maintaining temperature lower than the surrounding temperature, then the process is known as refrigeration. So let us understand this definition with an example. If you are having a cup of coffee which is at 80 degrees centigrade inside a room and the room temperature is 30 degrees centigrade. Now that from the knowledge of thermodynamics, we know that the temperature of the coffee automatically decreases up to 30 degrees centigrade, and this process is known as cooling because the surrounding temperature of the coffee is lower than 80 degrees centigrade and the temperature of the coffee eventually reaches to the surrounding temperature, and this process is cooling. Now if by some means the temperature of the coffee decrease below the surrounding temperature, then it is known as refrigeration. So if we decrease the temperature of the coffee below the atmospheric temperature, then the process is known as refrigeration. Remember, if the temperature of the hot coffee from 80 degrees centigrade, it is brought to the atmospheric temperature, it is known as cooling, and if it is brought below the atmospheric temperature, then it is known as refrigeration. So we have understood the refrigeration process, which is achieving the temperature lower than the surrounding temperature, and for this purpose special type of system or machines are used which are known as refrigerator or refrigeration system. According to needs, size and cooling system, various types of refrigeration systems are available in the market. So if you want refrigeration system, we need to use refrigerator. These are some of the refrigerators which we use in day-to-day life. Next topic is the refrigerant. So far we have studied about the refrigeration system, and for the working of the refrigeration system we need a working fluid which is known as refrigerant. So refrigerant is the primary working fluid used in a refrigeration system. This is our refrigeration system, and in this system a fluid is filled which is responsible for refrigeration process. The fluid which is filled in this system is known as refrigerant. Depending upon the application, required refrigeration temperature, atmospheric condition, etc., different types of refrigerant are used. The common non-refrigerant are chlorofluorocarbon CFC and ammonia NH3. Some examples of CFCs are R11, R12 and R15. Let us understand the function of refrigerant. Refrigerants absorb heat at low temperature and rejects heat at a high temperature. For this refrigeration system, the low temperature exists inside the refrigerator and high temperature exists outside the refrigerator. The refrigerant absorbs heat from the refrigerator and rejects heat to the surrounding or to the atmosphere. So in this way we achieve the refrigeration process and maintain or achieve low temperature than the surrounding temperature. Unit of refrigeration. The rating of a refrigerating machine is given by a standard unit of refrigeration called ton of refrigeration, denoted by TR. So 1 ton of refrigeration means capacity to freeze 1 ton of water from and at 0 degrees centigrade in 24 hours. Means 1 ton of refrigeration addresses the conversion of 2000 pounds of water into 2000 pounds of ice, and the entire process is carried out within 24 hours. Remember, water which is available is at 0 degrees centigrade and is converted into 0 degrees centigrade ice. So 1 ton of refrigeration is equal to 12,000 BTU per hour or 200 BTU per minute. Now there is another term which is introduced here, that is BTU. It is British Thermal Unit, and BTU can be defined as the amount of heat required to rise the temperature of 1 pound of water by 1 degree Fahrenheit, and the value of 1 BTU is equal to 1.055 kilojoule in SI unit. So 1 TR is equal to 200 into BTU, that is 1.055. So this will be equal to 211 kilojoule per minute or 3.517 kilojoule per second or kilowatt. Remember, nowadays 1 ton of refrigeration is equal to 3.5 kilowatt of heat extraction. Coming to the performance of refrigerator, which is represented by COP. Now to understand this, let us see the representation of heat engine, and then I will compare it with the refrigerator. Now here you can see a source having temperature T1 and a heat engine and a sink. Okay, in heat engine, the higher temperature T1 of source gives heat Q1 to the heat engine. Now in heat engine we get work output and some addition heat Q2 in the form of gases or other waste will be given to the surrounding or to the sink. Or I can say that I was having 100% heat, out of which I will get 60% work output and 40% heat will be rejected. Or in other words, I can say that engine which I have is having 60% efficiency. Therefore, efficiency of heat engine is equal to output upon input. Output is net work done and input is heat supply. So this can be written as Q1 minus Q2 upon Q1, or by simplifying I get 1 minus Q2 upon Q1. So this shows that out of 100%, some percent is getting less. Remaining will represent the efficiency of the heat engine. But in case of COP, it will be more than 100%. So if we see this figure, this is the sink having the temperature T1. Now we have to bring this temperature down. For that we'll have to give some work input. So when we'll give some work input, it will remove some heat, say Q1, and some heat, say Q2, will be given to the surrounding. So we can write COP is equal to refrigerating effect or heat removed upon net work done. So this is equal to Q1, heat removed is Q1 and the work done is W, which means When a refrigerator is removing Q amount of heat consuming W amount of work, then the performance of refrigerator is determined by the ratio of Q by W, which is called the coefficient of performance. Or coefficient of performance can be defined as ratio of useful heating or cooling provided to work required. Remember, higher COPs always equate to lower operating cost. Now next, any cycle, whether it is refrigeration cycle or power generating cycle, its performance is always compared with the Carnot cycle. So Carnot cycle for power generation consists of 4 processes if we express it in PV and TS diagram. So let us see the PV and TS diagram of Carnot cycle. There are 4 processes starting with reverse adiabatic or isentropic compression state 1 to 2, then 2 to 3 is isothermal expansion or heat addition process, then 3 to 4 reversible adiabatic expansion or isentropic expansion, and process 4 to 1 is isothermal compression or heat rejection process. You can see here in the TS diagram 1 to 4 is the heat rejection, whereas 2 to 3 is the heat addition process. Now this is an imaginary cycle for power generation, and according to second law of thermodynamics, no cycle can produce efficiency more than Carnot cycle. So because of this reason, this cycle becomes important for comparison of different cycles for power generation. But let us see how it is relevant in refrigeration. In refrigeration, if we reverse this cycle, in that case, you can see here we have reversed the cycle. So, at lower temperature, heat will be added instead of removal of heat to the cycle in process 1 to 4. Process 4 to 3, instead of expansion, compression will take place. Now at 3 to 2, instead of heating, cooling of air will take place, and instead of heat being added, heat will be rejected. And from 2 to 1, expansion will take place. So we have another cycle which is reverse Carnot cycle, and in this cycle the net effect is transfer of heat from lower temperature to higher temperature, and this cycle can produce refrigerating effect. This reverse Carnot cycle is often referred as standard cycle for comparing the performance of different refrigeration cycle. Now let us discuss about vapor compression refrigeration system. The vapor compression refrigeration system is most widely used in refrigeration and air conditioning, both for industrial and domestic applications. First, let us discuss all the parts of vapor compression refrigeration system. In VCR, we have an evaporator, a compressor, a condenser, a liquid receiver, and a throttle valve or the expansion valve. These are the basic components of vapor compression refrigeration system. In this system, the working substance is a refrigerant like ammonia and chlorofluorocarbon, which we have already discussed. A refrigerant readily evaporates and condenses depending upon the pressure and temperature during the cycle. Therefore, refrigerant absorbs a change of phase alternately between liquid and vapor phase without leaving the system. Now let us see its working. The schematic diagram of a vapor compression refrigeration system is shown in the figure. When the compressor is started, it draws the low pressure vapor from the evaporator at state 1 and compress it isentropically to a sufficiently high pressure up to state 2. Since the compression work is done on the vapor, its temperature also increases. Hot vapor from compressor under pressure is discharged into the condenser where it is cooled at constant pressure by rejecting heat to the condenser cooling medium, usually water or surrounding air. This converts the hot vapor into liquid and the liquid is collected in the liquid receiver at state 3. The liquid from the liquid receiver at high pressure is then piped to a refrigerant control valve, which is also known as the throttle valve, which regulates the flow of liquid into the evaporator. This control valve, while restricting the flow, also reduces the pressure of the liquid, which results the liquid change into vapor, represented by state 4. During this process, the temperature of the refrigerant reduces corresponding to its pressure. Finally, the low pressure, low temperature refrigerant passes through the evaporator coil where it absorbs its latent heat from the cold chamber or from the brine solution at constant pressure and converts into vapor at state 1. It is again supplied to the compressor. Thus the cycle is completed. So this is how the vapor compression refrigeration system works. Remember, during evaporation, it absorbs latent heat and converts it from the liquid to vapor form. Whereas in the condensation, during condensation, refrigerant rejects heat to the external system and gets converted from vapor to liquid. So this is how the vapor compression refrigeration system works. Now let us see the advantages of vapor compression cycle over reversed Carnot cycle. Vapor compression refrigeration cycle is a practical cycle, whereas reverse Carnot cycle is an imaginary cycle. So this VCR cycle can be used in a refrigeration plant. Also, the COP and refrigerating effect can be increased by use of superheated vapor at entry to the compressor in the case of vapor compression cycle. Remember, wet compression of Carnot cycle is avoided since the liquid refrigerant of the wet compression may damage the compressor valves and cylinder itself. Use of expansion valve capillary tube reduces the size and cost of the entire plant. There is small loss of work due to use of expansion valve or the throttle valve in vapor compression cycle compared to the work available by expansion of the Carnot cycle. So this is one of the disadvantage of the vapor compression cycle over the reverse Carnot cycle. Next, coming to the vapor absorption refrigeration system. The main components of the vapor absorption refrigeration systems are evaporator, condenser, expansion valve or the throttle valve, and the other main components is, can see here, a vapor generator, absorber and a pump. In VCR system, we saw that there is a compressor. This compressor is replaced by the vapor generator, absorber and pump in case of vapor absorption refrigeration system. This is the main difference in vapor compression system and vapor absorption system. Here you can see that evaporator is connected to the absorber with the help of a pipe. Now let us see its working. In absorber tank there is ammonia and water. Ammonia will work as a refrigerant and water will be used as an absorbent. Since absorber contains both ammonia and water, the pump will pump the water and ammonia to the vapor generator, and in vapor generator ammonia will be converted into vapor and water will come back to the absorber. Then this vapor will go to the condenser. High pressure ammonia vapor will reach to the condenser where they will lose their latent heat and gets converted into ammonia liquid, and this liquid ammonia will be passed through the expansion valve where reduction in pressure and temperature takes place. Then this liquid and vapor ammonia goes to the evaporator, and evaporator will extract heat from the liquid plus vapor ammonia and converts it into completely vapor form, and this vapor ammonia goes to the absorber. This low pressure vapor goes to the absorber and this cycle repeats again and again. This is the working of vapor absorption refrigeration system. Now coming to the comparison of vapor compression system and vapor absorption system. The first main difference, as we have already discussed, in vapor compression system we are using the compressor that has been replaced by the generator, absorber and pump in case of vapor absorption system. So the main classification between the vapor compression and vapor absorption systems are: here in vapor compression we use the compressor, whereas in vapor absorption no compressors are used. Again, electric power is needed to operate the VCA system, whereas there is no need of power in the VAS system. Again, this uses mechanical energy to change condition of refrigerant, whereas in vapor absorption system it uses heat energy to change the condition of the refrigerant. Here in vapor compression COP is high, whereas in vapor absorption COP is low. Wear and tear are more because of more moving parts. In vapor compression, as I told you, compressor is present because of which the wear and tear or the moving parts are more, which will cause the vibration. Because of that, wear and tear will be more in case of vapor compression, whereas in vapor absorption wear and tear is less. This vapor compression system is compact in construction, whereas vapor absorption system is bulky in construction. Again, vapor compression is expensive in cost, whereas vapor absorption is cheaper in cost. So these are some of the comparisons which we can make in the case of vapor compression system and the vapor absorption system. Now coming to the application of refrigeration. The major application of refrigeration is for human comfort, food processes and preservation. Let us see it one by one. The first application is in water cooler to supply cold water for drinking. Next, it is used to manufacture ice. They are used for preservation of food, vegetables, milk, ice cream, etc. They are used in hospitals for preservation of medicines, blood, tissues, etc. They are also used in various industrial applications. They are used for human comforts, for air conditioning in house, offices, theaters, hospitals, etc. So these are the applications of refrigeration system. Hope by this lecture you might have understood what is refrigeration system, what are the performance of the refrigeration system, what is the refrigerant which we are using. Again, we have seen the Carnot cycle, reverse Carnot cycle, and the vapor compression cycle. We have compared both. Again, we saw the vapor absorption refrigeration system. Okay, so comparing the vapor compression system and the vapor absorption system, and finally we saw the application. So, hope you have understood this lecture and cleared all the concepts of refrigeration system. Thank you for the patient hearing.